I've grown up in the golden age of smartphones when they were just beginning and just getting their foot off of the ground. I remember when each new generation of the iPhone featured a huge improvement over the last generation. I remembered when the first Samsung Galaxy Note came out with a huge screen, or the Nokia Lumia 1020, which had a 42 megapixel camera in a smartphone, first of its kind. But why are there so many companies, so many options, and so many die-hard fans that are Team Apple or Team Android, for example? We've all heard the Apple versus Android debate. Green text messages versus blue text messages. Mac versus Windows. Apple Maps versus Google Maps. I want to explore that today and actually have a conversation about why choice is actually beneficial to us, the consumers. Why does it matter that there's so many options to choose from? Why there's so many Android phones? Why there's so many different sizes of iPhones? Why does all of that matter, and how does that actually benefit us? I'm Arnell with Ardently Tech. That's what we're going to talk about in today's video. One thing I want to get out of the way in today's video, since it's a pretty contentious topic, is that I really don't care what phone you have and why you chose to go with that phone. There's a ton of different reasons why someone can have an iPhone and someone can have an Android. Maybe there's that one specific feature that just is really cool in the phone, or maybe you need that for work, or maybe everybody else around you has that phone and you don't want to be the odd one out. So for whatever reason you have your phone, I'm glad you have it. But something that I do want to point out is that competition is healthy. Let's imagine a scenario. If your phone broke and you had to go out and get a replacement phone, but the only phone available was from some off-brand company that you've never heard of. There's no more Apple phones, there's no more Android phones, there's no more Blackberries. Do they even still make those? Anyways, there's no more options to choose from except for this one unnamed brand. Now, this phone can do the same things that your old phone did. It can do phone calls, text messages, social media. It even has a good camera. But knowing that you can't go back to the same phone that you had, or even have the option to choose whatever phone you want, might make you feel like you're missing something. Even though it can do the same things, you're missing out on your choice. The choice of the phone that you want to get. The choice of the phone of what camera you want or what software you want to use. Even just the choice of customization of your home screen and things like that. Maybe this new phone doesn't do that. But I'm bringing this up because we are so used to choices. We're used to choices and the subconscious level of comfort and ownership that it gives us. It gives us comfort in knowing that we picked something that works best for us, and ownership in knowing that we could have gone with that option, but we chose to go with this option instead. Now, what does that all have to do with tech? Great, I'm glad that you asked. Let's keep me on track before I ramble on about other random scenarios. Apple versus Android. That's a pretty big debate among people that are really into tech or somebody that's somewhat into it. Because there's a plethora of options between Apple and Android, it gives us a very comforting sense of ownership, knowing that we could have gone with an Android phone with all of its benefits, its customization, its cool UI, the cool new features that came out for this year. But instead we chose to go with a brand new iPhone. And likewise, it gives us a sense of ownership in knowing that we chose to go with an Android phone when we could have gone with an iPhone for its exceptional build quality, its in-house design that has the software and the hardware built together by the same person, knowing that it's going to work for the most part perfectly well. The point is, because there's a lot of different options out there, we're able to decide for ourselves what phone, what device, what software works best for us. Whether that's the innovative technology, the secure encryption of its messaging system, there's a plethora of options out there that really help us to secure why we're going with the brand that we're going with. I used to be Team Android all the way. I loved my Android phone back when I got it brand new. It was an LG G3. Now, I've had many other Android phones, but that phone in particular was the first one that I saved up for, and I bought it with my own money, and I was so excited. It had just been announced, so it was a brand new flagship phone from LG. Had a huge 6.1-inch screen, I think it was, with a really cool design with the buttons on the back. I don't think they even make them anymore, but it was the first of its kind that really took a different leap into how you can actually design your phone, and sometimes these weird innovations are actually very useful to us. But when it actually broke down on me 6 months after buying it, now this was a flagship phone, and 6 months later, it became really sluggish and laggy. I factory reset it so many times and nothing worked, and I just had a very terrible experience with LG's customer service. And obviously the phone store that I got it from, they could really care less because they already sold me the phone. So when I saw that my friends who had 2-year-old iPhones that were still working perfectly fine, very fast and fluid, I thought, okay, let me go ahead and switch over to another phone, to an iPhone. And this time I went with an iPhone 5C. At this point, it was just announced, and it was a much different phone. It was extremely small, and its big selling factor was that it had a pop of color on the back. But I was really proud of myself for trying and stepping outside of something that I was really comfortable with, because before that, I really only had Android phones. And so I stepped outside of my comfort zone and I went with something different. I went with something that featured a different experience and was built in a completely different way than what the LG was designed as. And what I found was that I was missing the stability that I wanted from a phone. Now with the LG, it was really cool, and it had a good camera, like I said, it had cool designs on the back, but it was really lagging in the stability in the software department. The camera would open sometimes, the pictures would save sometimes, and just the whole experience with the phone was really laggy, even when it was brand new out of the box. I would give it sort of an extra grace period of, okay, well, it's a brand new phone, maybe it has to warm up and get used to how I use it before I get an actual consistent experience. But it was pretty much like that the whole time I had it. Now, I'm sure an Android phone in today's market is going to be vastly different than the LG G3 that I had 10 plus years ago, but I gotta say, I'm still happy that I have my iPhone. And let me just kind of clear up something. I'm not saying that iPhones are better than Androids and Androids are better than iPhones. All that I'm saying is that I found a phone that was good for me. It had the features that I wanted, the connectivity that I wanted with the other software, or with the other devices rather, with the Macs and the iPads. And it just featured a lot of really good quality features and aspects to it that I was really missing from the LG. Now, it was a real big adjustment going from a really big screen down to a small screen, but like I said, the stability and the fast fluid software really sold me on the phone and really sealed the deal. Now, I'm not saying that this was the best phone. I only had it for about a year before I upgraded to another iPhone. But because I made that switch from something that I was very used to and I loved dearly, which was Android phones and their customization, I decided to step outside of my rigid opposition to iPhones and switch into something that was a little bit different. And because of that, I've honestly been Team iPhone pretty much since then. Diving a little bit deeper into one of the big differences between Apple and Android and how the competition between them is actually helping us as consumers is something called near field communication, or AirDrop if you're on Team iPhone. So AirDrop was never really a thing until Apple realized that near-field communication was something that Android was using and was really catching on with a lot of the Android users. With near-field communication, you were able to pretty much tap your phone and either send documents or do certain, interact with certain things just by touching your phone, because it had a certain chip in the back that would interact with other objects. Now, Apple was really late to the game in this, and in the words of Craig Federighi himself,
we want to do it when we can do it really, really well. And
so this led to the innovation of AirDrop, where you can send your documents, your photos, your videos seamlessly between Apple devices, whether that's an iPhone to an iPhone or an iPhone to a Mac or an iPad to a Mac. There's a plethora of different things, but basically you can send your documents, your photos, your videos, and it'll retain the original quality, and it's very quick and seamless. So you can send a large video file through AirDrop and it retains the quality very well, and it sends it extremely fast. I don't think I've ever had an AirDrop experience where it takes more than 10 to 15 seconds, and that's really pushing it. Now, because of that competition of the near-field communication and the innovation that this inspired Apple to do with their AirDrop, I don't think that we would have AirDrop, at least in the capacity that we have it today, if it weren't for the competition from Android pushing their near-field communication feature in all their phones. So to loop back to my earlier point, which is pretty much the main point of this video, is that competition is healthy. Because of competition, we now have phones that feature incredible 13 megapixel cameras, 20 megapixel cameras, 102 megapixel cameras. It's wild the innovations that we have. And because of this innovation, we're no longer stuck with the 2 megapixel cameras that the first iPhone came out with, or stuck with batteries that would explode in certain Samsung phones. Too soon? My whole point is that when one company works so hard to stick out from the crowd by creating something really innovative, high quality, and just a good user experience, consumers like you and me decide to vote with their dollar. And because of that, that pushes companies to continue innovating and pushing that competition further and further to reach new bounds and new limits that we never thought we could reach before. Honestly, 10 years ago, if you had told me that we would have Samsung phones that were all screen, or phones that have your selfie camera hidden behind the screen, or iPhones with ProMotion video and just all of the incredible features that we now have, I wouldn't have believed you. I would have said, no, we're at peak smartphone. And this was 10 years ago. And look at where we're at now, and all the innovations that we have that are all benefiting us as consumers. And because of this competition between the two companies, they're able to push each other in ways that they never even thought that they needed. And so this is why choice is so important, because when Apple comes out with a new phone that doesn't quite feature all the latest and greatest and hottest new features of the week, but it features exceptional build quality, it leads people to want to go with that, or people that want to go with an Android phone to have the newest features and to try out the newest innovative tech like the folding screens and incredible curved displays like we had a couple years ago with the Samsung Galaxies. This isn't to say that one company is better. It's all about choice. Do you want to go with the one company that has everything built in-house? Or do you want to go with the other company that partners with, at this point, hundreds of different companies and features lots of different innovative ideas and tests the limits of what you can actually do with a phone? Neither one is better than the other, but I will say one is better for you. On this channel, we talk all things tech, with videos of product reviews, tech hacks, tutorials, conversation videos like this, and lots more. We believe that tech was made to make our lives easier, and we're here to help you understand it all. Make sure to subscribe if you're a tech lover or if you just want to learn more about it. We're passionate about tech that is just really cool, makes our lives easier, and is really innovative and pushes the limits of what we think we can do. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button so that our video can reach other people that are like you that want to learn more about tech, discuss it, and just see all the innovations that are going on. Anyways, that's it for today's video. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.